Welcome back to Comic Shop Talk on the Late Night Collectors community, everyone. I'm your host Nico, and joining with me today is, as always, is my co-host Chris. How you doing, man?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm actually shooting on location here today. I'm actually not in the usual studio of my home where we record these. I'm actually in PEI at the moment. I originally tried to record from outside so you could see the water where I'm at right now, but unfortunately, you just have to take my word for it because the internet was not working out there as well as we had hoped. So, in order to get this episode out, we're just kind of back where I'm staying here right now and recording here. So it'll have to do. No water background for you guys. I'm sorry, Chris, to let you down.
Taking the show nationwide.
Maybe I'll put the picture of this episode won't be comic book art. It'll just be the water.
Maybe you take a little, maybe do a little panoramic tour out your window there later.
Yeah, exactly. So unfortunately today, just because of the setup, because I'm doing it off of my phone, guys, if this is your first time tuning in, we normally have like comic book art also showing up on the screen, like from the books that we talk about, but wasn't able to coordinate that here for today. Also, if the audio is a little bit off on my end, we'll just have to make do for today for this episode. But yeah, I think we're doing pretty good still. So welcome back, everybody.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers, man. But yeah, I'm on vacation. Still wanted to put out this episode, so it's good to do. He still brought my stack on vacation with me, so
Dedication, everybody. Dedication.
I read all these on the plane actually on the way down here. So there you go. So I will see if that affects my ratings today because reading on a plane, that's not as good as reading at home. I'll tell you that much. A lot of distractions. But as always, though, since we are going to be talking about what happened in the books, a little bit of spoiler warning here for you guys. So we might be spoiling some of the things that happen in them. We'll try our best. We won't have the art to kind of avoid maybe the big spoilers. We won't have the art kind of showing off to show off here today. So we won't be spoiling any images, but we will be talking about them. So
There were some good images this week that could have been spoiled. So I guess maybe it's working out.
There is one big one that I want to talk about. I think it's one of the last books that we're going to be talking about here today, just because I'm trying to wrap my head around what's going on in this particular title. But we'll get into it in a moment here. But as always, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, Late Night Collectors Community. Make sure you give it a thumbs up and hit that like button. Make sure you hit the notification bell if you want to be notified of when these videos do come out weekly for you guys. This should still be coming out on Saturday. It should be coming out on time still. That's why when I try to put them out for you guys here. And check out our playlist, all kinds of different shows that we do on here. Chris was actually just on an episode of Cracking Packs with the Chat this past week. We returned. Yeah, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. A lot of good laughs on that one.
Sorry, Radish. I still feel bad.
My buddy Peter has also been on Cracking Packs with the Chat as well here. He just helped me relaunch the Return of Trade Talk, where we talk about a graphic novel that we both read, The Last Ronin, the new Ninja Turtles comic book. So that was a lot of fun. There's actually going to be a sequel coming out, which I'll be talking about on this show with Chris. I think comes out December of this year. There's the sequel that they just announced at SDCC. So I'll be actually picking up and reading the issues this time around. So that'll be cool. So yeah, make sure you check all that stuff out. And this week we're going to be talking about new comics for the week of August 3rd, 2022. But yeah, without further ado, Chris.
All right, let's talk comics. Cheers.
Cheers. All right. So first up here, again, just as I mentioned, guys, just operating off the phone here. So just give me a moment. All right, Dark Crisis 3. Before I put these banners up for you guys. Okay. So what do you think about this one, Chris? As you know, the first two issues of this book, surprisingly, on the weeks that they had come out, somehow were my favorite books of the week when the series came out. Everything that was a lead in to this series was not great. I think we've both been enjoying the event so far, though. Maybe me a bit more than you. But what do you think of this?
No, I'm liking this event, and like you say, it's surprisingly good. I'm liking the new players that are kind of entering the storyline here now. It looks like that original, I guess, that Justice League Rebirth kind of fell a bit flat. And we've got the Green Lantern, the Green Lantern Corps, kind of entering the picture a bit. And does I don't know if it was me, but did Hal Jordan get zapped in this one? Like pretty much the same way the Justice League did.
Yes.
Well,
So
it
it
looked like he
seems.
died, like the same way all the Justice League people died. But then you see him sort of in an afterlife world or something. So maybe all the other Justice League members are in that same sort of dimension or wherever they went to.
What I took it as is what you just basically said is how everybody's inside their own
Yeah, like
world
sort of
essentially.
reality or whatever.
I think there might even be one of those world without Justice League Green Lantern things coming up because to be honest with you, the fact that I think probably what was whatever was going on with him and maybe his book at the time he
Yeah,
wasn't part of, or they just didn't have him as part of the Justice League team. It seemed weird that he wasn't part of that team. Like same with him and like Flash, right? Because they weren't
yeah,
actually they've actually been part of this story so far on Earth, not part of the
yeah.
Justice
Well, I
League
guess
team
maybe
that
they just
died.
need him for the storyline to kind of
Yeah.
push forward some narratives, I guess.
Yeah, but I guess that's what I took it as is what you just said it too. That's what I think happened to him at the end there. So he's like dead, but not really. Like he's you know what I mean, taken
Yeah,
off
he's
the
in some
board
like
essentially.
limbo world or something. And
Yeah, yeah,
I thought it was a great last page with Black Adam looking for some new allies. That was surprising. I like, that gets me looking forward to the next issue too.
agreed. That ending was really good. Yeah, we won't spoil that, but the people that Black Adam meet up with, because as you know, if you've read the first two issues of this, he wasn't so impressed with what the this Justice League was doing. Basically, the not the actual Justice League, but these group of Teen
Yeah, the
Titans and
kids or
everybody
whatever. Yeah.
else. Yeah, that's been trying to step up to the plate. Black Adam came basically. It was like you guys suck. Like yeah, he just told us. He's like I don't know about you guys, but like I was there. I almost died as well with the other rest of the Justice League because he's part of the team for whatever reason right now.
Yeah, it wasn't Black Adam
Uh,
saying we got to kill these people. We got to, I got to hit him
yes,
hard, hit him fast, and kill him. And they're like, "Whoa, no, everybody deserves a second chance." It
yeah,
looks like they're
yeah.
at war, but nobody's listening to Black Adam.
And the Flash showed up and is just like, listen, last time I checked, Black Adam was a bad guy, so I don't know why he's coming around here. Like, or Green
Yeah,
Lantern, one of them commented on that. So I see it from both sides, to be honest with you. I agree more so with Black Adam. I feel like because he just showed up and called them garbage, and I was like, yeah, these guys are doing it. They
well,
are
yeah,
pretty garbage.
they're garbage.
They're not the Justice League. I'm sorry. Like it takes you can't just show up and be like, we have all this years of
Well, I guess in
experience
their
as a team.
defense, though, they're still naive kids, full of hope, and life hasn't beat them up yet. So maybe that's why they're still looking to give everybody second chances.
Hey, listen, they're doing what they can. There's no one
Yeah,
else really there to step up. So I mean, what can you do, right? But
well, I know they have
um,
who's that? The Society now showed up there too. I think
yeah, it's the Justice Society of America.
yeah,
Yeah,
I like the
JSA.
one line. Hey, why didn't you come to us right away or something like that? But those are like the
No,
old time heroes. Those are like the geriatric heroes.
yeah, well, there's a lot of great people in that team, though,
Yeah,
man. That's like the Jay Garrick Flash, the one with the metal pan on his head and stuff like that, right?
yeah,
So no, but yeah, those are like the World War II. Those are your father's heroes right there, right? So like no, but the GSA is great, and actually, there's supposed to be a spin-out series of the Return of the JSA. I am assuming from this book because Jeff Johns has been teasing that he's going to come back and write the JSA for some time now, and he wrote the JSA in the past, like I don't know, in the 2000s. It was a really great series. Like I own it all in like the hardcovers.
yeah,
So I'm looking forward to that. So I like those heroes too, and the Justice League look up to them. So it's cool that they have that. I
yeah,
like DC because they have the legacy aspect to it. Marvel doesn't really like now. They're trying to do it where they're like, oh, there's five Spider-Mans or whatever, but it's not
yeah,
like
but,
DC. It's not like DC in that sense, right? So
yeah.
it's really cool. So yeah, there were some good moments in this. I enjoyed it still. I don't know if it's in the running for my favorite of the week. I'll jump the gun a little bit and let you know that right now. But it was a good issue though. I think it's continued to be good. I have enjoyed it still. So what'd you give
Yeah.
this one?
Um, I think I'll give it a 4. I did like it a lot, and I think it hit a lot of the marks that I'm looking for.
Same. Yeah, I think this is an event just doing it's playing out these event moments properly. Like I think like if you're gonna have a book like this, like you need that last page. You need
Yeah,
these moments where like different people show up like throughout the book and stuff like that. Yeah, and I think that it's hitting all the right notes for me for an event. Like it's not trying to confuse us by any means so
Yeah,
far, and it's not trying to. It doesn't have 1,000 tie-ins, at least things that I'm not reading. I'm not reading
yeah,
them under,
exactly.
you know what I mean. But it's working. It's not like one of those books where they're like, see this book to like. But there was one
Yeah,
thing in this where they're like with the Young Justice, and I'm like, I'm not reading that. But it didn't hurt the
yeah.
story. It was just like, yeah,
I think I did read one of the Young Justice. There are some of those guys are missing, but who cares?
yeah, yeah. So there you go. I also give it a 4. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
So yeah. So next up, we got DC versus Vampires 8. Oh, you got that cover.
I
Very
got the
nice.
dirty
Yes.
cover, but that 8 cover is not too bad either. Like
It's not, but that
I
background
don't
cover
mind
is
that
really
one
nice.
either.
Yeah, they're both good. Yeah, they're both good. But yeah, this one's got the Green Arrow, Black Canary thing going on. So this, yeah. All right. So what did you think about this one, Chris?
It was okay. It wasn't the best issue of them all, but things are still moving along. And let's see, what do we got here? It feels like the heroes are sort of regrouping in this one and kind of replanning, retooling, and it looks like they're ready for action at the end. So I'm looking forward to what's coming. And this was just sort of a breathing issue or an issue where they all sort of took a breath and kind of started lining things up. And, they got that with that dream sequence with, was it Batgirl? Where she was dreaming, I think it was a dream sequence there where she was with
Yeah,
Nightwing. And,
yeah.
but other than that, I think it was a decent issue.
I like this issue. It didn't read as well, I think, as maybe some of the other issues of this series. But what I do really like about this issue is that they're playing around with all the supernatural characters of the DCU, which I love. I love the Phantom Stranger. I like Constantine. I like
Yeah.
that Dr. Fate was there. Like, I think he was there. Yeah. I like that whole opening sequence where he shows up to the House of Mystery. It, or is it Secrets? Because one of them, there's a whole
Yeah, there's two
funny.
houses: the House of
Yeah,
Secrets and the
yeah.
House of Mystery.
No, so he shows up to the House of Mystery, and Robin, Davian, is grilling him about why they're called House of Mystery, House of Secrets. He's like, is the mysteriousness not secret? Like, I don't
Yeah,
understand. Like, he's just like, it's a funny intro, and John Constantine's like, yeah, like shut up, kid. Like, just don't worry about it. Like,
yeah.
he's like, yeah, this is the House of
This is just
Mystery.
the house. Get in. And
He's like,
did
he's
they
like,
have a vampire like freaking strung up in there or something? I like
yeah,
that.
he's yeah, and then like the vampires that came, like Damien is a vampire, so he comes in with them. He's like the other person that was with them. I forgot who that is. Like he's like oh, is this what you're doing to our kind in here? He's like, listen, we're trying to cure him, and then the vampire explodes because of a spell. They're just like covered in blood. He's like, yeah. He's like about that. I thought that was really funny. So the whole opening sequence of this book was good, but then after that, it was just like okay. But I like Frankenstein, Agent of Shade. I like Phantom Stranger, Doctor Fate. Like I like that they're playing with these characters. Like Jason Blood showed up, who's a vampire. That's Etrigan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like all of the supernatural character. Like I'm an easy mark for that, like for these characters. So like if they show up, I'm happy. So like even though the issue probably wasn't as good as maybe some previous issues, especially the last one when it changed the tone and now the vampires have taken over, I still enjoyed it like with them being in it. So yeah. So what would you give this one then?
I'll give it a 3.75 more just because I'm not familiar with sort of the magic characters of DC, really. But I did
Yeah,
like it, and
yeah, I yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4. I can't. I was gonna give it a 3.75, but I just like seeing those characters. So like
well, I
they
liked
not
seeing
release them
that
that.
too with what's that, Zartana or no, one of those Wonder Twins. She showed up out of the blue there too, and I thought that
Yeah.
was good. Now she has sort of both powers for whatever reason. I don't think she'll have an impact in the story, but it was a nice panel there where I don't know, she's like some water bear or something. I don't know what she was doing, but I
Yeah,
thought that was cool too.
because she said she's got the power of both now, essentially, because
Yeah,
her brother, like the one that she has to, with the rings or whatever they do.
yeah, he put him in the
The
blender in the first one, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah, yeah. Now she can have both abilities
Yeah.
essentially. Yeah.
And who was that
Wonder
monkey? Is
Twins.
that monkey still around?
The chimp.
Yeah.
Oh, like Detective Chimp or the one that they have. You're
No,
saying?
the one they have wasn't there? Didn't they have a little monkey friend?
Haven't seen them.
Or is
Yeah,
that
I
not
haven't seen
canon?
them.
My bad.
Yeah, no, the Wonder Twin. Yeah, because of the Wonder Twins. Yeah, no, you're right. They do, but I haven't seen him around, so I don't know.
Maybe you can have a surprise appearance and turn the tides.
All right. So what's up next? Which one do you got here?
Oh, I got Spider-Man.
Edge of Spider Verse.
Spider-
Yeah. Let me.
no, no, or Edge of
Oh,
Spider-Verse. Are we doing that
no, no,
first?
2099. No, no, that's what we had,
Yeah,
2099. Yeah, there you go. Sorry, I need you to tell me just because I got to pull up on my end. All right,
yeah,
yeah, go
no
ahead.
worries. Yeah, so it's Spider-Man 2099 featuring basically the X-Men 2099. And well, like I say, this whole series, I know it's called Spider-Man 2099, but he's basically just sort of a narrator. He's along for the ride. In this one here, he had a bit more to do with the story. But let's see, what do I got here? Yeah. So this is with the X-Men 2099, and there's a cool Cyclops character in here. And I don't think it's not an original Cyclops or nothing to do with Cyclops, but he's got a different power set. You know, he can still blast stuff out of his eyes. But when he
Mm-hmm,
hits things, they turn into different materials. And you know, it seemed to be like some omega level power. And it
mm-hmm,
was, I guess, when he was a kid, I think he turned his mom into salt or something. So he blinded one eye, and then he pulled the other eye out of his head. So he couldn't do this anymore. So he walks around and he's always blindfolded with a rag there or something.
mm-hmm.
And I thought that was a pretty decent power set. The other X Men in there, I think Rogue was there, and they really laid into her Southern accent. Wasn't a big fan of that. And then I don't know. There's a few. Like North Star was there, but I don't think it was like the North Star from Alpha Flight. He was like some big dude that was just, I guess, directing them, where he could. I guess his power was to like a compass. He could guide them to where mutants are or something.
Okay.
And what else did it say? And that's it. You know, they fight some Sentinels in this one, so that was fun seeing some Sentinels there.
Mm-hmm.
And and at one point, Cyclops does have to use his power because he finds an eyeball, and he puts it in, and then he just tells them, if you know me, get behind me, because he had to wipe out the Sentinels. If they were sort of in a dire
Right.
strait, let's say, and they have to kind of unleash his power.
Right.
They're fighting in the garden, and I guess the next issue is Omega, so they're fighting. I guess Norman Osborn is on his way,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the final battle for this celestial garden, basically where the mutants wanted to go and set up a new Krakoa. So I thought it was a good issue. You know, it's nothing crazy, but one character kind of stood out there, and if anything, that's worth something. I give it a 3.75.
Who is this a mini series? Is there just one more issue left, or is it an ongoing? This one?
No, no, it's an issue. It's we got Spider. I think it was 1 to 5. There's an Alpha, and then the Omega's coming next, and
Oh,
that's
okay,
it for
okay,
now.
okay, cool. All right, what's next?
What's next? We got Into the Spider Verse,
Okay, nice. Now, yeah, or is this Edge of Spider Verse? Is it called,
or
or
Edge of Spider Verse. Sorry, Into the Spider Verse is the movie.
right? So apparently, it seems like there's going to be a lot of big things coming out of this, right? Like I didn't pick this up, but I've heard like it seems like there's going to be a lot of storylines that lead into other things, at least from this,
Supposedly,
right? Like
it's supposed to lead into the new Spider Man in December.
Dan Slott.
The Dan Slott is part of this. I don't know if he's
Okay,
like the head writer, but his name is on it. So
okay.
I got this here. Then I know my LS. Just I guess they bought me.
Oh,
I got the Spider T Rex. Reminiscent of the Jurassic League. If
that's
Jurassic League wasn't out, I'd like this more. But Jurassic was out, and it just seems like they're freaking copying each other. Like, come on! I don't know who came up with the idea first, but this isn't like freaking some genius idea that they got to freaking run with. That fuck, I think this Jurassic League so popular that I got to freaking make Spider Man into a dinosaur. Like,
it's
come
like
on!
they come into the offices and they're like, "All right, guys,
Yeah, have you heard the news?
dinosaurs."
What teachers do?
Dinosaur. I got one word for you.
Yeah,
Dinosaur. They're like genius. Yeah.
yeah. Well, anyways, but I wasn't too impressed with this issue. Like, they
Okay.
introduced a whole bunch. Like, there's basically 3 or 4 stories where they just introduced a whole bunch of Spider-Man variants. There's like some Scottish Spider-Man. Who
Yeah.
needs a Scottish Spider-Man? I don't know. And he shoots a gun that I don't know. And he's like from the past, like in the whatever, maybe the 1800s in Scotland, and they're just laying it in his accent there too. I don't think it was. I think I read this first, and then I read that Spider-Man 2099 after, where they're laying into Rogue's accent. It's like, freaking, just let these people talk. And then then they had the like, and that was like a little whatever 5-6 page story, and then they went to the T Rex story. I don't know. That doesn't really make sense either, but he's a dinosaur and I don't know what he's fighting, and I don't even know why he looks like Spider Man, but he's like Peter Parker
How
dinosaur.
does how does he shoot
He
webs
does.
with
He has
those
those
small
little freaking
arms?
arms. I don't know, but
I can see
I
that.
don't know. Yeah, and then there's the story of is Arachna. I don't know what her name is. Arcana, Arachna. It's supposed to be like Spider Man or Spider in Spanish.
Oh
And
yeah.
kind of like, I guess she's sort of the feature of the story here. And she gets a new costume in this one, but I think her old costume looked better. It was more based on the Venom. It was like the black and white Spider Man, with the black suit, and there's Spider Man Noir in there. He's got a good story in there too, but
Yeah.
it's a wordy story. Like holy smokes, like his whole story is all just freaking.
He's monologuing the whole time,
Yeah, it's all
probably, right?
monologue of his
Yeah.
mind. So you got to be in the mood for that. And then
Yeah, yeah.
Madam Web is sort of
Oh,
kind
I
of the
like Madam
thread
Web.
that ties them all together because something big is coming and they got to get all these spider variants ready to fight. So
Okay.
lots going on there.
Okay.
I'll give it a 3.5. Nothing crazy. Didn't like that Scottish Spider Man, and
He sounds like
yeah,
Pete from The Simpsons. From
was
Simpsons.
that a Shrek Spider Man? I don't know, but like
That's good.
I'll continue on with the series and see what they bring. I think uh, I don't even want to say like there's a whole bunch of other Spider people coming, and I guess
Yeah.
they're just throwing everything at the wall, and if one or two of them
It stick.
stick, no pun
Yeah.
intended. See
Well,
how it goes.
this is also them going back to the well again because they've already did this Edge of Spider Verse stuff before. Like they did this when it was original. Like they did this years ago when they did the
Hey, I guess
whole.
before that Into the Spider Verse came out, hey, they
Yeah.
came up with some fun characters.
Yes.
I don't know,
Yeah.
this one could be so much fun.
I mean, as a result, they brought like Spider Ham into the pages of that book, which was a character that existed in the past, right?
Yeah,
Which
I'd
is
rather
like
see Spider Ham. He was
same.
good. I liked him back in the day.
I like Spider
I
Ham.
like that
Yeah.
whole world of Spider Ham. Like they have those puns
Yeah.
on his name, like
That's
Peter
right.
Porker. Come on.
Yeah, yeah. I know. No, it's fun. I used to read those too back in the day. Yeah, that was like their Star Comics line, which was like their all
Yeah,
ages one or whatever.
I
Yeah,
might have
yeah,
one kicking around somewhere. I thought I bought one years ago, but I can't seem to find it. But anyways,
yeah. Okay, so 3.5. All right. All right. Next up, I got the Scumbag number 14, which is the last issue of this series, um, written by Rick Remender. I like that he's been writing these smaller series lately. I think I mentioned that last week or a couple weeks back with the Righteous Thirst for Vengeance about to end with the next issue. This is good. I liked this. Basically, Ernie Ray Valentine, I think was his name, the main character, which was this character, the scumbag, who was a dude that ended up playing like, it seems like three sides of the fence. He was like a triple agent at one point of this because he got tasked to like help out these like secret agent type people in order to take down these people that were trying to like take over the world. Somehow this guy fell into. Did you pick it up?
I picked it up, but I haven't read it yet.
Okay.
They
Well,
kind of just they threw it in my box in my bin, and because I
okay.
picked up that one with I picked up an issue a while ago with a variant cover. He goes,
Right.
"Oh, I thought you might want it." I go, "If you don't worry." And I'm like, "Ah, fuck, I'll take whatever you give me." But
Right.
I
Right.
enjoyed it.
No, no, no. It's okay. It's cool that you picked it up. So basically, though, like, yeah, he was kind of like being this playing like secret agent man type of thing, and by the end of this, he's kind of on the outs with everybody. Like, he basically like everybody hates him because he's like a degenerate, right? He's like a drug addict. He's an asshole. Like, he's like this. Peace and love, like free kind of like dude, but like he just kind of leeches off of people and makes his way through the world, and but he has an interesting outlook on things. And then you could tell that by the end of this, he gets up and he addresses everybody in the midst of this big showdown that he's kind of stuck in the middle of between these secret agents and these bad people and everything else, trying to brainwash people. And he basically, you could tell like Rick Remender seems like it was stuff that he was just vocalizing through this character in the book. The guy goes on and he talks, he basically addresses the left and the right. like in terms of like
Yeah,
his thoughts on everything, and he's kind of somewhere in the middle in the terms of like, you guys believe in this, or this is the way you
yeah.
guys act.
Everybody's stupid. Freaking, just use some common sense.
Exactly. That's basically what it is. So I don't know. He has like this, I don't know, 4 or 5, 6 page kind of speech, and where he's addressing all these things and just vocalizing it, and you can tell it's coming from the writer's mouth because he talks about like people during the pandemic and all this other shit,
Yeah,
and by the end of it, like everyone's so amazed by this talk that it just everyone stops what they're doing, and they basically just end this feud, and just because everyone kind of finally seen eye to eye with one another, it was a type of ending that you wouldn't expect for people to actually come together at the end of this thing. And then there's another ending after that, and I'll leave it at that. I won't spoil it for folks. It actually makes perfect sense for this book, but I think the point is really driven home here at the end of like this character and the way the world is and everything else. And I thought it was really smart and well done. Really great ending. And yeah, I would give it a 4. I think overall the series is a 4. It was really good. The first several issues had like a different artist every issue, and then they kind of stuck with this Roland Boschi artist for like the last few issues. It seemed like the same artist. And all said and done, I think it's probably somewhere in the middle of probably everything he's done for me in terms of like Rick Remender's work. But I thought it was good. This issue, especially though, I like the way they ended it a lot. And there's a little sequence here, especially since you didn't read it, Chris. If you should check it out, you will get
yeah,
something out of this issue, even without having read the rest of the series. And the ending's very fitting. I'll say that. So yeah,
yeah. It's
very
one
good.
reason why when they did show it, say, "Hey, we got this for you. You still want it?" I go, "Yeah." I figure this was the end of the series, and hey, it's always good to
Yeah,
see what happens.
yeah. I think on its own, this is this is a good story worth checking out. This issue.
Yeah,
Okay, next up we got Batman Killing Time #6, also the last issue of this mini series for this one. In the last issue, you found out that I've been praising this book with the way it was written this whole time, the way everything's so precise, and he's recording different times and for every sequence of events that happens in this story, and he's flipping back to the past and forward and present time and doing all this kind of stuff. Then you find out at the end of the issue, it's because it's the Clock King who's the villain, apparently, that was behind everything in this book. And then it was like, oh, how stupid am I? Of course, this is such an obvious move, but who uses the Clock King? So, like, Tom King enjoys using, like, these CD list type of Batman guys every now and then. Like, in his Batman run that he did on the main title, he made Kite Man a big deal, and now Kite Man is a big deal in the Harley Quinn animated series. He was in the first 2 seasons, so it's not something that's new that he's done, but I just didn't see it coming. And then when you find out in the end of the last issue that it was the Clock King, kind of, that we were reading his text this whole time of telling us the story through his eyes and everything that he put in motion. It became pretty clear, I was like, okay, that makes perfect sense. I just still think it was a really well written Batman miniseries. It's probably some of Tom King's best Batman work. David Marquez and art, really great job, and it was a good and fitting end. I think everything kind of unfolded the way you expected it to. No crazy twists or anything like that, but I think it was a well told story and worth checking out. And I'll probably double dip and pick up the collected edition of this when it comes out, if it's like a hardcover or paperback or something. I think it's worth picking up if you guys didn't read the issues. Very good. So I give it a 4. I think all in, like I'd even give the miniseries like a 4.5. Like it was really really well done. I think the ending was quick to the point, well done, and like I said, they weren't trying to pull any fast ones on you or any a bunch of shit didn't unfold towards the end where you were
yeah,
left confused or something like that. It just was a
yeah. We
very
need like an
fitting.
issue back to find out what happened. I always
Yeah,
like that
exactly.
quirk too, where you never know who the narrator is, and then at the end when they reveal the narrator, and it makes
Yeah.
perfect sense who that narrator is.
Yeah, and like they've done that in films and stuff too, and
Yeah,
and he did it at the end of the 5th issue. So like this 6th issue was perfect for him to have that reveal, for him to wrap everything up. That being said, like of that reveal, like after the fact, like okay, now you found out
yeah,
who this was the whole time on the last panel of issue 5, and now let's basically wrap everything up, right? That's basically what this was. So yeah, really well done, and yeah, definitely check it out if you didn't. Okay, next up we got Immortal X-Men #5, which is I think the first of the tie-in issues. I got this cover with Emma Frost on it. Maybe you got the same
Oh
one,
yeah.
Chris. Yeah, by
Oh,
Art
I'm gonna
Adams.
track it down. The heck did I? Well, I did get the same one. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, the Art Adams cover of Emma Frost. Yeah, great stuff. He has another one I think coming up for X-Men too. The next issue of X-Men.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
there it
think he's
is.
got the Phoenix one coming.
Yes, yes. I love when he does the variants. Art Adams. He's a great artist. But yeah. So this was. What did you think of this one, Chris?
Not my favorite. I'll say that much.
Same. Yep.
I know who this. That well, maybe it's just because I'm not familiar. Like this issue is basically focused on this Exodus character.
Who's an Araco guy now, I believe, right? Yeah, he's
Yeah.
an
I don't
Araco
know who
dude.
he is or where he's from or sort of what his power set is. I don't know much about him. And even like I guess they're going over the attack of the Unimind on the Quiet Council. So I guess it's a battle of on the astral plane or I don't know the psychic level. So I guess it would be hard to visualize that, let's say. But this it didn't like the last page didn't leave me wanting more. The story, I don't know. He's fighting dragons. He's a knight. I don't know what it was. There's a few good panels here and there when they kind of got outside of the freaking psychic battle. But once again, well, not my favorite issue.
Yeah, boring. That's what I thought
Yeah.
about
Oh,
this issue. This was I mean, if this was representative of this is basically what I don't like about the tie-in issues to events that it
yeah.
crosses over into these titles. And of course, I'm happy that we're reading Axe because of the fact that the X-Men are so like it seems like it is actually going to have pretty big implications on the X books or like stuff. I mean, we say that about all events, but like they're kind of really like they're really focused in this event in terms of the X-Men. Like they're the ones getting attacked by the Eternals. So I feel like if you were reading these tie-ins and not reading the main event, I think you're at a loss. Like honestly, like not that this tie-in provided anything extra to the story. Like this did nothing for me, honestly, this particular issue. But I mean, the next one that we're going to talk about here, I think, did more so than this did for me. But yeah, this I don't know. I really like this series of Immortal X-Men, but it seems like every other issue, it's just like okay, and then it comes back and it's like okay, that was a really good issue. So it's just been inconsistent so far. I found right because that last issue was the one that was focused on Emma. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
Right, like that issue was great. It led right into the event, the gala, right?
The gala, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I agree with you. I don't think this was a great issue. I was quite bored reading this, and I don't feel it did not like I didn't need to read this, right? And like if you were picking this up just for the event tie-in, not a good one. So if you guys aren't reading this regularly, don't check it out.
Yeah, you don't need to read this for the tie-in. It doesn't do anything.
No. Okay, so what did you give this one?
I'll give it a 3. Easy. Or even like I give it a lower, but I like the cover.
Yeah, I'll give it a 3.25. I'll give it a 3.25. That's what I was thinking. But yeah. Okay, so next up we got X-Men Red #5, which is also a tie-in issue to Judgment Day, which I guess is going to be the case over the next couple of months. As long as this event's coming out. I just recently caught up on this book. I know Chris was reading it digitally, and I just caught up on this. I announced it like a couple of episodes ago that I did, and so big things happened in issue 4 with Magneto, and then in this issue, and then in Axe. If you guys didn't hear us talk about that, they alluded to basically this this Eternal guy came and destroyed Mars, like totally annihilated Mars.
Like 2 panels on that Axe. He just went in there, went down, and then he returned. Like, yeah, it's done. And you see everybody just laid to ashes there.
Right, and this is kind of like the fallout of their this because event tie-ins do this. This kind of described from the perspective of the attack by the Eternals on the Araco people and on the council that happened in Axe. They show it again in here, and you see it from like a different perspective of the X-Men Red people, how they reacted to the attack and everything like that, right? So what do you think of this?
Yeah, as a tie-in goes, I think this would be not a must-read, but a good read for the tie-in, because you see what happens in there, and that and I like the way they kind of had that, because what his name is Uranos, right?
Yes.
Celestial. yeah, he had
Yes.
an hour to kind of be free of his wherever he was locked in, and it just basically comes down, and they kind of just tick tock the time while he's there, and he freaking kicks some serious ass, and he takes out some major players quickly and without without sort of any remorse. And I think some of the, I guess in the defense there, they put up some of their big guns up there, like literally with Cable, he pulls out some Omega level weapon that's been banned in like the year 3000, and
Yes.
he blasts him for like 3 seconds, and he just shrugs it off. And I don't
Yeah.
know, the spoiler with is that Legion that came there, and Legion, he goes, okay, he kind of acknowledges Legion to be a
Yeah.
threat, but you just take
Well,
care of him in like 2 seconds, but you don't see
Legion
it.
Legion is on like the same scale as of like Franklin Richards, like in terms of like Omega level mutants, like that are
Yeah,
like that powerful. Like he's been said to be at times like the most powerful of all the mutants. Like he's a crazy level psychic. Like he's Professor X's son, even more
yeah,
powerful than he is. It's like yeah, exactly. So like that was pretty cool. I also even really like I don't normally, I don't love the text pages anymore in these books. Like they've continued that since the Hickman stuff, but
yeah,
I like this page, this double page spread where it said the armories of Uranos, and then it explained like how many forces he has remaining and
yeah. Or it's just
committed.
kind of like a spreadsheet almost, like a battle report.
Yeah, yeah, it was cool. It's like, are the Celestials protected? Yes. Is the machine protected? Yes. Is the deviation being corrected? Yes. And then it's
Yeah,
like, very good. Continue. Like,
yeah,
just, I liked that. I was like, okay, that's a good summary. I like that a lot. Like, because it made you just be like, oh, they're screwed. Like, this does not look good.
yeah. And even
Yeah,
when they
no.
started mentioning like the mutant circuits, I always like seeing those circuits out there. Like the I think the first one I remember seeing is where Havoc powers up Cyclops, basically.
Hmm.
And then it gets here, there's some mutant that can spit out metal or something, and then
Yes.
freaking, and there's whatever, with Magneto, and like they say mutant or whatever, mutant circuits are rare, and Omega level mutant circuits are even rarer. And you think, okay, they got something going on. It seems to stagger Uranos, but he
Hmm.
still takes care of business. But I guess he's too quick to leave.
Hmm. Yeah, no,
I don't know
it's
if you want. I don't know if you want to talk about the ending there, but that was quite an ending, though.
Yeah, I don't think it's the hugest reveal. I mean, I think it was bigger before when it looked like he was dead. But
Yeah,
yeah, so basically, Magneto again, you think he's dead because it alluded to it in Axe as well. You find out he's not, and I don't know what the hell happened, but it seems like some other thing is going on. Like he fused with some other power source of some sort at the end
yeah, he's
there.
got a
I
hold
don't,
of his chest, but I don't know
but
what's
it's
going
like,
on. But
yeah, but it's like
he's
lit up.
pissed
Like,
off.
yes. So watch out. Like Magneto, I think is going to be a big threat to the Eternals in this
Okay.
event right now, especially because now they've taken out Mars, which is where he left Krakoa to live with them, and then he seemed like he was finding some inner peace finally, as is
Yeah, like
always the
it's that
Magneto. It's
you
always the
can't leave the
Magneto way.
game.
You've made a lot of enemies, my friend. You can't just be like, "Oh, I'm just going to move to
Yeah,
Mars." Yeah,
but
no.
can't be done. The more you want to leave it, the closer they pull you back in. But
Yeah.
I'm looking like
So
this was like the exact opposite of freaking
absolutely,
Immortal X
yeah,
Men. You know
absolutely.
what I mean?
This is what you need from a tie-in issue. Not only
So I
moving,
had to go back and look at the last page of Immortal X Men. Said, did I miss something when I was reading it? And he's like, it's Exodus. I'm the hand. I'm the rock in Kane's hand or something. It's like, what the hell? Who are you? And then you got
yeah,
the end of freaking this one with freaking Magneto going, okay, yeah, now it's round
yeah,
two. Let's go.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I agree with you. This not only was an excellent issue of the series, it was an excellent tie-in as well. Like I
Yeah,
think to the
exactly. Yeah,
event.
because
Yeah, yeah,
in that Judgment Day, you just see him wipe out. You go, what the hell happened there? And they freaking give it to you right away. You're not waiting freaking 6 months to find out what happened. I loved it.
hmm hmm yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree. So, what'd you rate this one then? I think it's a great issue.
I'm giving this one a 4.
Same. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, good issue. All right, what do you got up next, Chris?
Oh shit! I think I got let's see, Spider Verse. Oh yeah, I think I got Poison Ivy here.
Okay, yeah, Poison Ivy 5. Yeah.
Poison Ivy 5. So this is I'm really liking this series here. Is it 5 or no 3? Sorry,
Oh shit.
Poison Ivy
No,
3.
no
My
worries.
bad.
Yep. Yeah,
And
go ahead.
let's see, we have Ivy here. She's struggling with her plan. Like her plan right now is to try and kill everybody on Earth with some mushroom or some virus that she can put out there, and she's trying to get to some major hubs to spread this virus. And in this one here, she's sort of questioning her sanity. There's some rune or there's some like dark force that's kind of coming after her, and she's not sure if she's just doing that to herself. There's some sort of virus that's attacking her that she's got to shave off every once in a while. You find out here that she's dying herself, so she wants to make sure she gets all this done before she dies. And then there's some dream sequences with Harley in there where Harley's telling her that, you don't have to do this, there's another way. It's sort of spinning out of like some of the fear state stuff where Ivy was like, in godlike
Yeah.
power, they got taken away, and that's sort of what she's upset about. And I guess I don't know if it's the green or whatever, but there's some sort of force that's killing her there. So it's just a nice, I don't want to say essay on the mind of a psychotic, I guess.
Mhm.
And I'm digging it. She makes some friends in here, and usually she's just been killing pretty much everybody she runs into, whether they're good or bad, just because in her mind, everybody's going to die anyways. And she
Mhm.
wants to kill this lady, and she's like, well, I can't play favorites. You're going to die anyways. But she decides that she's just going to move on. She plants a garden and all this sort of stuff. But that's still good stuff. I'm liking it. I'm digging it. Great covers, great art inside. And I'm going to keep on reading this one. I don't think it's going
Nice.
to. I don't think it's going to freaking move into anything, but I think it's a good miniseries. And
Yeah.
I'll give this. I'll give it a 3.75.
Nice. Nice. All right. What's
And after
next?
that, we have Harley
All right.
Quinn here, 18. She's going weekly this month, I think.
That's right. Yeah. So I actually picked this up, guys. I'll be able to talk about it next week, the next issue when I'm caught up, but I forgot to read it. So Chris, let me know what
Yeah.
you thought about this one. I flipped through it. Looks interesting. I
Yeah, it
got
looks
kind of like
nice.
a
Yeah, I think they got
yeah,
a new artist in here.
yeah.
Uh, well, there's a lot of jibber jabber about how she doesn't want to be part of a team, and like when she was a kid, how she'd end up doing the work and kind of just taking a part of all the different team members of the person that doesn't do this, doesn't do that. And I guess there's some task force X sort of deal going on here, and they're trying to not really recruit her. I think they zap her and bring her, she has to fight with them, and they
Mhm.
sort of detail all the recruits. But lo and behold, surprise, surprise, she ends up on a team. I think she joins the team because they offer a big ton of cash, and they end up going to space. So nothing special, but hey, it's Harley Quinn. I'm digging it. Like I said, I think I might have talked about this before. It's tough that she's such a popular character with such a weak power set. You know what I mean? But
Yes.
I'm down for this. I think like this is almost like a Harley Quinn month, culminating with I guess a 30th or not a 30th anniversary, some sort of anniversary in September. So there's a lot of sweet covers coming out there, and I'll follow this one here and see how it goes. I'll give that a 3.5. Nothing crazy.
I think it is the 30th anniversary because I think it was 92 maybe that she was
Well,
created. She was
30 years for Harley Quinn.
I think so. It was early
Right.
90s. If it's not 92 and then maybe it's 25 years then, but 97 sounds wrong. I think she was created before that because she was originally in the animated series, right? The animated series was in the
I
early
guess. Yeah.
90s. So I think because you got to remember,
That might have been a
she,
slow brew for her though. She didn't really freaking blow up till. Did she blow
no,
up right
so
away in the 90s, or she blow up in like
no.
2000s or something?
More so then. So she was in the animated series first, and then they brought her into her first appearance was in the animated series comic. And then she didn't really become like a key player in the main continuity comics till like a little bit later after that, right? So like that's yeah, so she like her first maybe you would say even 10 years maybe not as popular obviously
Yeah.
as what she became.
Did
I
she
think
blow
the
up because of the video game or not?
I
Wasn't
don't
she,
know
she
if
was in one of the Arkham Asylum video games where they had?
that's the worst version of Harley Quinn, like in my
Okay,
opinion.
I
Like
don't know.
honestly,
Like I just remember there's one where she was like super hot in there,
no,
but I
like
don't know if that was
I
before
think she
then, if
was.
she was or not.
She was, but I think that costume is terrible. Like most of the people that used to
Yeah,
cosplay as her at one point would dress up as that one. So yeah, I'm not gonna say that she wasn't hot as that version, but it was more like in terms of style, like compared to the
yeah,
classic Harley look, it just you can't compare the two, in my opinion. That's why I said it's like one of the worst versions of her, just based off her costume. But
yeah,
anyways, but yeah, that's you make a good point because I think the problem that people have with Harley due to her popularity is the fact that each writer bases her power level to their basically to help their like they can change it up like she like
yeah. She
you
has
know what I
no
mean
sort
like
of defined set of powers,
right
but
so it's
really,
to
she
their
has
liking.
none.
Exactly. It's basically to whatever the writer needs her to do to their
Yeah,
liking in terms of like her power set, right? So I agree that it's kind of phony baloney type shit with that, but at the same time, it's like she's such a popular character, you can't like
yeah,
you can't
yeah.
do anything about that now. And then what else? You got one more, I think, here, or what do you got? Iron Man last left?
No, I think you got a
Oh, so
couple.
I'm up
We got
next.
Iron Man.
Yeah, I'm up next. Yeah, I'm up next. Sorry. Okay, so I got Batman White Knight presents Red Hood #1. So I think you didn't end up checking this out. I think this is only a 2 issue series, and I don't think you missed out personally. Like it wasn't. Yeah, I mean I've checked. I'm down to check out all the White Knight tie-in stuff. I think this is only the second mini series that they've come out with. The first one was like a Harley Quinn mini series, but she's such a great character in
Yeah,
the White Knight storyline, and they also had an awesome artist on it. And Sean Murphy's wife was the writer, who's like a romance novelist or something like that. Like, so she's had experience. Like, anyways, the Harley Quinn miniseries that came out was great. Like, if you guys are into the White Knight universe, definitely check out the Harley Quinn miniseries. It was fantastic. It came out maybe a year or two ago. But this other one that they're doing, and I think thankfully, I think it's only like 2 issues. This wasn't as strong. I felt this Red Hood one. Like the Red Hood was mentioned earlier on in like the first, I think, White Knight miniseries that they had, and basically in this version, him as Robin, um, he basically revealed to the Joker that his identity, that he was Bruce Wayne, and then he let him go instead of killing him, which is the difference in this White Knight universe compared to the Jason Todd in the actual, where he beat him to death with a crowbar. In this, he abducted him, the Joker, and like tied him up and everything else, and then he revealed to him, and they show you the flashback in this issue that he basically admitted that Bruce Wayne is Batman. So
yeah,
then the Joker's like, oh, okay, well, I'm just going to let you go now. And he's going to lose all trust in you once he finds out that I found this out. And he's
yeah,
not going to want you to be Robin. And it's essentially that's what ended up happening. Like he fell out of it and he wasn't Robin anymore. And then he went ahead and started this Red Hood thing, right? So now in this issue, there's like some, I don't know, teenage girl that's dressing up as Robin and trying to help people in her neighborhood. But she like rides around on a bike, and like the vibe of the comic is like an all ages kind of young adult type
yeah.
deal, and the art in it is like very animation style, like looking art. So the whole vibe is different from the other book in the White Knight universe. You don't have Sean Murphy on art.
Yeah.
You don't have him writing. Like there's another writer writing this. He just plotted it. Like he told him the story, I guess, that he wanted. So compared to the other White Knight stuff, this is not as good, like by any means. Like and maybe not just what I'm looking for, right? Like the book
Yeah.
was fine, like it read fine. It just compare it in comparison to the other White Knight universe stuff, way better than this, in my opinion. So I give it a 3.5 because aesthetically and like the way it was written and everything, it was fine. It's just not really what I'm looking for. So I would give it a 3.5. It was decent, but it wasn't yeah, it's not my favorite, and I think there's only one more issue though, so I'm okay with that. Like, I hope this isn't like a 6 issue miniseries. I don't think it is, but
Yeah, I don't think so.
um, no. So I think if you're really into the White Knight universe, I guess it's worth checking out, but it's not required reading because this seems to be like its own story outside of everything going on in the current series right now of White Knight. So I don't think this is like he's probably, if he shows up again in the series, he might show up with this new Robin character or something like that, and
Yeah.
they may reference them, but other than that, I don't think there's a need. This isn't required reading by any means, in my opinion. Okay, and then next up we got Little Monsters #6. Yeah. Yeah, again, this series has gotten a lot better, I think, since it started. This one just again is addressing where we left off, one of the vampire kids. was caught by somebody with like a bow and arrow of the survivors, and all of the vampire kids that have feasted on humans essentially drank blood for the first time. Half of their group is coming back to like their lair, like basically where they hang out and stay in the middle of the city, and they're coming back now. And there's a young girl that's met up with the rest of the group that did not go out and drink the blood of these humans that they found. And she was the daughter of one of those people. And they're basically coming back to the city, and now it's going to be revealed. Like she had to basically run off and hide. Like the vampire kids that are cool with her and that are her friends don't want these other ones to essentially to see her because they feel like they're going to kill her right now that they've got a taste for blood, right? So that's basically where we're at in this issue. And things are just getting more fleshed out, and we're getting to learn the characters a little bit more. So it was fine. Nothing big happened, just a little bit more character development and moving the story forward. I also give this one a 3.5. It's still not my favorite thing that these guys have done, either Jeff Lemire or Dustin Nguyen. They worked on a book before this called Descender and then Ascender, which were like these sci-fi and fantasy books for Image. I like those series way more than I've liked this series so far, but I'm a fan of theirs, so I'll probably continue reading it. All right. And next up, we got Flashpoint Beyond number.
I got Iron
sorry.
Man.
Sorry. Yeah, thank you, Chris. Yeah. See, guys, like I said, I'm off today with this setup. There we go. Go ahead, Chris. Iron Man 20.
I got Iron Man here. I got a sick. I think it's Alex Ross cover. Basically, it's the only reason I'm buying these freaking Iron Man still. I think this new storyline here is with, I guess it's Iron Man and is it Jim Rhodes, the War Machine. They're out there trying to buy back all this sort of arms tech out there from Source Control. They don't want to go in there and bust up and just steal it all back. So it looks like Tony Stark is going to be using his fortune. It's going to wipe him out to buy all this stuff back, and they're just kind of making the plans to buy all this stuff. I don't know if I'll be buying. I don't know if I'll be following through on this series. I think I got another few issues coming, but I think as long as they still making these sick covers, I might be still buying them. I think they tease a new armor at the end of this one, unless he's just in the dark. I'm not sure because he kind of comes out at night, so it's like a black. It's sort of a dark armor, but it just could be because it's dark. He kind of goes in light, and it's back to there, and who knows? I'll give it a 3.5. Wasn't anything special.
Yeah, I feel like you've been down on it the last few issues. It seemed like when you started reading it, you came in at a very good point.
Well, yeah, the story there where he was the cosmic god or whatever. Okay, we'll see. You know that's going to run for what 3 or 4 issues, and it did. Crazy things were going on, and now it's sort of back to normal. And we'll see how this goes. But I think I'm still in for another 2-3 issues.
Yeah,
I'll probably still buy it. I'm freaking buying everything now anyway, so it doesn't matter.
But there you have it. All right, next up we got Flashpoint Beyond number 4. What did you think of this one?
Well, I read this online first because I don't have this pulled. This is one series that keeps on surprising me each and every issue. I thought this was, some sort of nothing series, but I think I'm really digging this. And from what I hear, this might be some sort of Beyond universe or something. I don't know if it might tie in with the White Knight Beyond somehow, somewhere, but some big things happen in this one. There's a big reveal of a new character, and I thought that just blew me. That just blew me right off the, just having this female, it's Harvey Dent's wife in here, and the kid.
It's not a new character.
Not? Oh no! Okay, I didn't know that. It's the first time I've seen that character.
So she originally showed up there was the Flashpoint event. It's a big deal because this is the return of this character. So that I don't know if we thought she was dead. I can't recall. It's been so long since I've read it. So there was the Flashpoint event. The last one, there was a mini series called that introduced his father as this version of Batman, which was the Flashpoint Batman something, Night of Vengeance or something like that. It was a 3-issue miniseries. That's the series that introduced this character originally. But I won't mention who it is if anybody hasn't checked. Well, it's on the cover that Chris just showed, basically. So, right? I think that's her. Is it not?
No, it's Harvey Dent. or
Oh,
it's
that's Harvey Dent.
or whatever, the female Harvey Dent. And I thought that
Yeah.
was a big freaking reveal. Well,
Yes.
that
Yeah.
was revealed in the last issue, you know.
Yeah. But it's cool that this person showed up. Let's say that. Yeah, it's very
Yeah,
cool. Yeah,
like,
and
that
that's
just took me by
do you,
surprise, and I had to go out and buy this issue.
do you know who that is, Chris? Like in relation to like who that character is in this universe?
No, not really. Wow.
It's Bruce's mother.
What?
Yes.
Wow.
So
But see, that even just throws a freaking
Bruce
like
was dead.
that is a bonkers freaking. I love
What's
this
that?
miniseries here. This is what this is what an Elseworld should be. That's sort of trying to be in continuity or continuity or something. This
Well,
is
to
like,
your
compared to like the Spider-Man 2099 and all this Avengers baloney going on. This is
right.
where it's at.
To your point, that's the thing that's cool about this series is because Jeff Johns originally wrote this many years ago, and he's really just returning to the concept again right now. So like a lot of this is still coming off as fresh, and also to your point, like you said, they really haven't been advertising this as being such a big deal. And like you
Yeah,
said, that you thought this was just going to be some below, and then every time you read an issue, you're like, wow, some really interesting things going on here. And I
exactly.
think that's important. Like that's an important point because I think it's if this is under the radar for a lot of folks, this is one of the this is one of the better Elseworld type things that are going on right now. Absolutely, like I
And that
agree with you
could
on that.
not even be an Elseworld. It could be a real world.
Yes, yeah. I mean, it is. I mean, it is in continuity, but it's just a different,
Yeah, and it's not like the
Earth.
Dark Knights or whatever. That is just like a story on its own. This can have real effects in
Yeah,
continuity.
yeah,
And
and they are.
I still think something's happening with this. They're gonna pull this in somewhere. This is like a freaking monster series. This is
Well,
like a freaking big pooper.
all the clock things I think that they got going on right now is going to lead to some sort of a Watchmen, Doctor Manhattan thing because the clocks and like his whole thing was with
Yeah,
the clocks too. So I think that's what they're alluding to in that part of the series is that I think that's because Jeff Johns also wrote Doomsday Clock, which came before this, and then there's the whole thing, the connection about Batman having his journal, like Doctor Manhattan's journal, which is that he wanted to I guess fix his father's timeline or whatever, or he's trying to do it the other way around. I think
yeah,
he's trying to fix his timeline, his father, right? And Batman, I think, is like on the other side trying to go through time
yeah.
or
That's the only thing I
whatever.
didn't understand at the end when that globe turned blue or something. I didn't know
Yeah,
which
yeah,
timeline that was in and
yeah,
near
yeah,
the
yeah.
end. But I know, and like, there's so many things this could be bringing in. This could be bringing back the Watchmen. I don't know if the Watchmen are gone. I haven't heard anything about the Watchmen since I've been reading comics. What's
It's
37 months now, I guess, or 37 weeks.
I think, Chris. I think that the thing that they're referring to is like basically the time that Doctor Manhattan, like, because he says it's created when the Omniverse comes into direct contact
Yeah,
with hypertime, when space meets time, which is essentially what Doctor Manhattan like has control. I think that has a lot to do with the Doctor Manhattan stuff. What's going
yeah,
on with Batman? So very interesting, very interesting.
yeah.
There's a lot of interesting questions coming out
A
of
lot of
this
good
book.
stuff going
So.
on in this issue. Like,
Yeah.
this is I think a lot of people are sleeping on this.
Yes, I agree. I agree. So, what'd you give this one?
I'll give this. I'll give it a 4.25. Now that you're telling me some things, I could almost bump it to a 4.5. But I'm liking
Yeah,
this.
I'm gonna stick with four on this, but very good, absolutely. Yeah, I can't say that I think I enjoyed it more than any of the other books I've said four to this week, but very good. Yeah, like I think you hit on it was that people are sleeping on this series and they shouldn't be. It's good stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. And then finally this week we got Batman 126, last book out. Ooh, you got that cover, the
the
McFarlane
homage
one.
cover.
Yeah, the McFarlane homage. Yeah. Very cool.
Still feel bad when freaking DC's got a freaking homage Marvel cover.
Yeah, pretty
And,
much. But yeah, what do you think of this one?
I was okay. I didn't mind it. Freaking Batman gets freaking another. Well, Batman gets his ass kicked. Fine, whatever. But it just seems like wasn't it just a couple issues? Spider-Man gets his freaking ass kicked. I just see a lot of mirroring going on between Marvel and DC sometimes, and it just seems to be a race to who can get these issues out first. There's some good stuff in there. That failsafe character seems to be still ambiguous, let's say.
Hmm.
And the ending, though, the ending freaking threw me there. I like the ending all the way to the last page. Like, you see him going
What?
into the cave, to go into some box to get something freaking crazy. He goes, I got to get something to fight this failsafe. And he comes out, unless this is teasing something, I don't know. But he just,
So yeah, you just don't understand what happened on this last page then, Chris.
okay,
So I have this is the one I said I alluded to having to spoil at the start of the show. So at the end of
okay, yeah,
this issue,
spoil it then.
okay, at the end of this issue, guys, for anybody that may know or doesn't know, the Batman of Zur-En-Arrh shows up. Now, this Batman is a Grant Morrison when he did his run on Batman, I guess in the 2000s.
Okay, I understand
This
that a demon thing or whatever.
Right, so he originally plucked this idea from like I don't know because this guy does that Morrison. He there's some issue back from like the 60s or 70s of Batman where there was some alien that showed up to Earth and he tried to disguise himself as like he wanted to make himself look like Batman. So I'm the Batman from Zur-En-Arrh or some like planet
Yeah,
or something, right? Anyways, it was like a one issue idea, one off, never touched on again essentially. And his run in the 2000s he basically brought this Batman back. And it had like the same color scheme, like the purple and the red and all this stuff. Like, but in his run, the Batman of Zur-En-Arrh, and this is where I give you props, Chris, because you hit on this in the first issue, and I think that's where it's headed. Essentially, the Batman of Zur-En-Arrh is something that Batman has in his head that when he's mentally unstable, when something happens, this is another backup version of himself that basically comes to the surface. So he's buried this mentally inside of him. So when somebody actually like when he has problems,
yeah. When he's
this
broken,
guy
he's beaten.
so it seems like so far that he did create failsafe. And I think it finally clicked to him at the end that this person put that into motion. And this is for him to basically, that's what I think. Cause you
Yeah,
said that in the first issue, you're like Batman. He's like always thinking that like, it's true. Like people have written scenarios like that, where he's
yeah.
kind of set up scenarios for himself, like cases and stuff like that to test him when he thinks he's getting weak or whatever. So I think this is basically what's going on. So the return of this character is kind of cool in that aspect, just because it's been something that hasn't been done in some time. So if you get it, it's a cool thing, like in that regard. And also, I just like the idea that he actually might be the person that made this robot so hard and difficult to beat for him to basically test himself, or maybe it was this Batman Zur-En-Arrh one that did it,
Yeah.
right? So it's some interesting things going on to say the least. I don't know, but
Second of all,
otherwise, it did.
for me, I
Yeah,
think when I thought he was coming out of that cave, I thought he'd be in some Hulkbuster freaking Batman costume. And he just comes
yeah,
out in the purple costume. Like, what the hell is this? So maybe it's
right.
just, I don't know. And, if it does freaking explode into something that goes crazy, I'm fucking down for it, though.
I think it's a cool concept, given that like that's what it's supposed to represent, that character. So like for me, like the way the issue went, that led into him revealing, like coming out of the shadows as this person. It is him, it is Bruce, but he's mentally unstable now, essentially, is what this character's emergence means. I was like, okay, I'm like, this is interesting, actually. Like, I really like that. And I thought the action sequence of them
Yeah,
going through the street and him fighting this robot and the art,
yeah.
like
No, I can't go wrong with the art. The art is that's George, whatever, Jorge Jimenez. I don't know how
Jimenez,
you pronounce
yeah.
his name. Freaking mint.
The only complaint is that this top half of Nightwing, I don't know what's going on, but he is jacked at the top of his body. Like there's a like it's ridiculous. Like and his legs were like pencil thin. I was like, whoa, my God, like, he
Hey,
does
he
not look
skips
like
leg day, man. Everybody does.
I don't know. I've never seen Nightwing that jacked on top and then like so thin on the bottom. That was the only thing I think about his art in this
He's
issue. I was
breathing
like,
hard.
what?
Sometimes that happens. I tell you.
He doesn't. I don't know. He doesn't look like that in his book. But in this book, everyone's jacked. They're like, yeah, I gotta make him look good. So, yeah, no, I liked it. I liked this issue a lot, man. I thought this was an excellent. I think it was even better than the first issue that he's been doing. I'm really, and the backup is good. The Catwoman backup
Yep.
with the
Oh yeah, that's another good story. I'm finally digging backup stories. Like I'm glad that
yes,
Zdarsky's writing these ones too,
yes,
and like so they
yes.
do make sense. They have some, they have some value, or they add some value
relevance.
to the story. Yeah, some
Yeah,
relevance.
it's
Exactly.
some relevance to his actual main story as well because it's happening at the same time. And yeah, I agree with you. I love that he's also writing those. So like, because usually they bring in some like up and coming person, and it's like
Yeah,
never
and
the
it's
same,
just some
right?
freaking baloney story that doesn't matter. And I like to have was it what's her name? Ada, the Cobblepot. It's a daughter and a son, right? And the
Yes.
daughter looks like freaking Penguin. It's not like they freaking brought out Penguin's daughter and she's like freaking super hot or something, you know? Which
Hmm.
chances are, I'm sure that they threw that idea out there, but they
Yes.
came back with, a
Yeah.
Cobblepot or a Penguin type
Yeah.
daughter, where you could see they're related.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Excellent. I think it's in a very interesting direction right now, like the storyline, and I'm interested to see where it goes from here. And yeah, the backup and the main storyline both really good. Art's fantastic. Yeah. What'd you give this one?
Yeah, I'll give it a 4. I like that.
I'm gonna give this one a 4.5, man. I think
Yeah,
this
well,
yeah. But
I think you
because
have
I
you have
probably
a better history going on here. I don't. I missed out on some history there. Like I say, I was expecting him to come out in freaking some Hulkbuster armor to fight Failsafe, and he just
right.
comes out in his fucking purple costume. Go what? It was what
I
Nightwing sitting there like, oh, I'm Batman. Of course you're Batman. Fucking who else are you?
no, I totally get that. I totally get that. But I think for anybody, and hopefully they really flesh that out for you as
Yeah.
maybe a reintroduction to the, or sorry, an introduction to this character
Well, I
in the
imagine there's
next
going to be a
issue.
lot of new readers, coming onto this
Yes,
because of Chip Zdarsky, and
yes, yes. So I hope that didn't lose any of you guys out there, potential readers,
uh,
because
not losing me, but it just
for
wasn't what I
me,
expected.
sure. For me, I was just like, that's why I put it over the top for me this week. That scene, yeah, I was like, that's crazy. Just because we haven't seen this character in a while, this version of Batman since Grant Morrison's run, right?
Yeah.
So, anyways, yeah. Anyways, cool stuff. There you go. So that was this week of comics. Let's talk about what we're picking up next week here. Let's see here. You got that information up there?
Yeah, I got it ready to go.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I got whatever. Axe Judgment Day 2, Jane Foster and Mighty Thor 2, 3. I don't know. I'm not feeling that series too much.
Mm-hmm.
The Punisher 5, Amazing Spider-Man 7, Avengers 59. I might get an early read on Deceased 1,
His dick. Yeah.
Harley Quinn 19, Jurassic League 4. So I think I might stick with this Jurassic League just because I've
Yeah.
seen some of those last issue covers there with some dark side out there. So we'll see how it goes.
Mm-hmm. Hold on. Am I still on screen here?
You're on and off.
Okay, hold
You're
on a
off right
second.
now.
You can hear me though, right?
I can hear you. Yeah.
I'm just looking at my list here. Sorry. So
No.
it's I got Deceased number 1 as well, War of the Undead Gods, Harley Quinn 19. I'm also going to be reading Jurassic League. I don't think I'm sticking with physical issues after this next one, but I'm reading. I have a physical issue next week for this one. Amazing Spider-Man 7, Axe Judgment Day 2, Love Everlasting 1, which is the new Tom King romance type comic from Image that I think he's been doing on his Substack, Predator 1, and Punisher 5. And that's what I got. That's what I got coming out next week that I'll be picking up and reading. And yeah, look very nice.
Looking forward to this one.
Yeah, I am too. I am too. The Deceased is great, and this is actually going to be the last one, so I'm really looking for a strong finale here. So yeah, it'll be really good.
Unless it does really well, I know they'll be a Deceased 4 somehow.
They could always do something. They say it's the last one. Yeah, who knows, right? I hope they put out like a big hardcover collection of this when it's all like all done. I definitely would pick that up. I've read it all in issues, but there was some stuff that only did digitally online and they never
Oh,
put out an issue. Yeah, like which is by Tom Taylor as well. There's one series they didn't put to print that they did digitally online, so I've never read that one. So I'm looking forward to this, and hopefully, I think that I would like for them to put out a whole collection at the end. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, great story. All right, but now we're at the point of our favorite book of the week here. I gotta say, it was a pretty close week for a lot of these books. There was a lot of contenders for me this week. It was a very, as you could tell, I gave it a lot of fours. this week. There are a couple of ones that weren't great, but otherwise, I thought it was a pretty decent week. Here, so I gave it to this though. Ultimately, Batman. I did score it the most, but because of that reveal, because of the art, because of the action in this one, I had to give this one the edge over the other books that I read this week. Yeah, although there's some interesting things happening in the other ones, I think this is a combination of the reveal and the art on this one for me for Batman that gave it a little bit more than the others. How about you, Chris?
Mine was, I guess, between just basically the ones that I read online. All the issues I bought sucked. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to give it to Batman Beyond, number 4. I did
Flashpoint,
like
yeah,
that.
Flashpoint Beyond, yeah,
Flashpoint Beyond.
yeah, nice, yeah,
I
very
like
good.
that one. I think this one even reads better. Like I read this one online, and you don't get the same impact as you do when you read it in comic book form.
Hmm.
And I just let that.
Well, let me know if you're looking for any of the back issues. If you're having trouble finding them, if you want them, I can probably find those for you if you need help.
It's all right. Well, I got enough stuff already. I got to figure out where to put all these fucking comics nowadays.
Gotta start cutting
I'm
back.
looking for boxes, any box that fits comics. I put them in honeycomb boxes now. Freaking, I found some little like plastic box at work that looks like it fit comics. Well, take that out of the garbage. I'm bringing that home.
We might
I have
have
to
to. We
figure out
have
a more
to.
permanent solution. I want something where I can see them though. Like I don't want them all fucking locked up in boxes, man. There's super covers out there, and I want to see them.
So they do have an interesting thing called drawer boxes. I don't know if you know about these. So they're
Yeah.
like long boxes, and you can actually
Oh
pull
yeah.
them out like a bed.
You have them though, or no? Like they're cardboard
So
drawer boxes, right?
yes, well, no, there's ones that are harder material too. So
Yeah.
now we don't
That's
sell
one
them,
idea.
but they're apparently very popular. Like people love those, like that are
Yeah, I see
collectors
them on
like
Etsy or
you.
something, and I freaking get Joe Blow out there to freaking carpenter. But
So,
I've seen
so
cardboard pull boxes though. Those seem.
yeah.
I don't know if they're out there or if people buy them, or if stores
Apparently,
stock them.
apparently those are pretty stable too, from what I've heard.
Yeah,
Though, like you can stack like a few on top of each other without actually breaking them. Like apparently they're pretty
yeah.
solid.
If I
So
could
we might
find
have
out
to.
where those things out there, I know I talk to your people.
I was about to say we might have to talk offline about this one because this is a little comic book intervention there for Chris. You might have to figure out a better solution for him. Guys, hit us
Find
up
a
in the
dark room
comments.
and just put them all on the wall.
Hit us
That's
up in
it.
the comments, guys, if you have any advice for Chris on how he should be storing his comics. No, he's running out of room. It's either that or we lose him on the show. We got to figure something out.
I
All
buy
right.
like 50 a week somehow. I don't know what's going on.
I listen. I don't know. You
I blame
all
you,
these
Nico.
covers.
I blame you.
I don't even get as many as you now. I've been trying to help you out by giving you some, man. It's all your covers. Oh, I gotta have the A cover. I gotta have the B cover. That's you,
Ah,
Chris.
that's killing me. It doesn't help the
Anyway,
freaking store. Hey, we got this one for you just in case. Sorry, I'll fuck give it to me, whatever. What are you
just
gonna
throw
do with
it
it?
in.
Yeah, I'll take it. What are you gonna do with it? You got. I'm trying to tell them, hey, you sure it's not for somebody else? They go, yeah, nobody orders this stuff. Like Jurassic League. I think I got like an A and B cover for Jurassic League. Like, yeah, you're the only one that gets this. Don't worry. We're
Yeah,
not ordering this for
exactly.
anybody else. Like, okay, fuck, I'll take it.
I think this guy's just potting this stuff on you
I
now. I don't
think
know
so,
what's
man.
going on.
Well, I'm just gonna give them $1 next time. Like I know how much they make per issue, but fuck here, just take $5. Stop ordering me extra issues for things.
I think you're paying for the fact that you got your issue a week early. There, you're a little deceased. That you got. Anyways, all right. Well, these talks will continue, guys, on the next episode of Comic Shop Talk. Check us out next week. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, all that good stuff. I'm gonna stop sweating through this shirt, and it's hot over here, guys. What can I say? Great weather. So that being said, though, we'll see you guys next week, and thanks for tuning in as always.
All
Later.
right, cheers.
Later.